Hi, I'm CF3 Loyal, still staying at home every other Saturday, bringing you the latest quintessential Rangers vlog, some 4 weeks since my last video. And a lot has happened since then. We've beaten Kilmarnock, we've gone to Estadio de Luz and came away with a draw against a very, very good Benfica side. We should have won, but we'll learn from the lack of game management towards the end of the game. We've had the Hamilton hammering. We've had the international break, which I discussed on Gersnet. We've had Morelos breaking Alan McCoist's all-time European goal-scoring record. 2 stupid boys and 7 match bans for Jones and Edmondson. We've had October Manager of the Month, Steven Gerrard. We've had October Player of the Month, Connor Goldson. We've had the retro kit launch. The accounts have been released. And meanwhile, Celtic have only won 2 out of their last 8 games, and one of them was last season. Let's talk Aberdeen. It was a very comfortable 4-0 victory against the team sitting 3rd in the league with the 2nd best form in the league. Yes, Aberdeen were missing a few players, and yes, Rangers were once again on the favourable end of some COVID-19 absentees. But as my dad's always said, you can only beat the team in front of you. I think we adjusted our lineup after seeing how many Aberdeen players were unavailable. It was a very offensive, disrespectful Rangers lineup, and I loved it. We've finally seen Arfield, Aribo, Roof, Kent, Morelos all in the same starting 11, and that's one observation I've had over the last few games. We now have the squad that allows us to flex our style, our team, depending on the opposition. Kilmarnock, for example, we had Etienne out on the right hand side and we were playing long balls up to him. As Steven Gerrard said, that was a deliberate ploy to miss out in the midfield, and in particular that sticky surface at Rugby Park. At Benfica, we had Morelos up front for his hold-up play, but it was Stephen Davis's maestro performance in the midfield that played those long balls up to Ryan Kent, who get in behind the defence, and in particular Otamendi, which led to his sending off. And then Hamilton, we had another offensive lineup, but this time it was players that play in and around the 6-yard box. Again, we've seen Arfield, Aribo, Roof, Kent, but also Jermaine Defoe in the lineup. And victory means it's Rangers' best start to a league campaign since 1967-68. We are the most on-form team in the top leagues across Europe, with 7 straight wins and 15 games undefeated. It was good to return from the international break with a victory, picking up where we left off, keeping the smile on Chris Boyd's face. And our record at Ibrox is definitely worth shouting about. Played 8, won 8, scored 28 and conceded 0. Let's talk about the game itself, starting with the goals. Ryan Kent, cheeky nutmeg, lovely camera angle of it from the Govan stand. A really, really good addition to the TV experience. And then an excellent solo run and shot from distance. I really enjoy that some segments of the opposing support were not so happy that it went in via a deflection. And then there was Kemar Roof's goal. Great pass from Goldson Bauer. Fantastic movement from Kemar Roof. But let's take a moment to just talk about those 2 players, because Connor Goldson's distribution this season has been an absolutely enormous improvement on last year and deserves special recognition. And Kemar Roof's movement, that goal typified how much his movement was first class all game, and I can't wait to see more of that and more of him as we go into a crucial part of the season. And then the finish, it was a sublime finish. Then there was Scott Arfield for the 3rd goal, and that deflection once again getting in the act of Operation Stop the 10. And now on to the 4th goal from James Tavernier. And I think Derek McInnes needs to update his rulebook, because manhandling isn't allowed in 2020. His spiteful comments in his post-match press conference were almost as bad as Richard Foster's outfit choice on Sportscene. And sticking with Sportscene, you know it's a penalty when Michael Stewart says so. It was very stupid of Considine. He'd done it twice actually during the game, as he was trying to boogie with Balogun. But for the penalty itself, another confident penalty from James Tavernier, who's on form for his 13th goal of the season, meaning he is still the SPFL's top goal scorer and top assist leader. And it could have been more. We had the Kent chance early on, the Stonewall penalty denied on Kemar Roof, which Derek McInnes conveniently forgot to mention. Then there was Kemar Roof made a goal line clearance from a Joe Aribo shot. Then there was a Tav header in the second half. There was nearly an own goal from the boy Campbell who came on, possibly the closest out of them all. Joe Lewis had to make a good save off the underside of the crossbar. Then there was a Hadji cut back to E10 who seemed to want to wait for the ball to come to him. Then there was an E10 header in the 92nd minute. On that, 2 minutes into injury time, James Tavernier bursting up the right hand side and putting an absolutely pinpoint cross into the box for E10. It summed up his performance. But along with Kent, Roof and Arfield, to name but a few, it looked like a few of our players really benefited from the international break and looked really fresh and re-energised. It seems each time I vlog I want to talk about the substitutions that we make, but we made 5 subs during the game and all 5 players were either current or former international players. Off the bench, we brought on Stephen Davis, Glenn Kamara, Jermaine Defoe, Cedric Etienne and Yanis Hadji. I keep talking about the fact that we're able to make these changes without compromising the quality of the team. Stephen Gerrard said that he was able to make those changes to rest some of the players that had been away on international duty. He subbed Ryan Jack, Joe Aribo and Alfredo Morelos, who seemed unhappy about going off. But I don't mind that personally. I know Gerrard said he wasn't sure why he was unhappy, but Alfredo Morelos, a goal scorer, he wants to score goals. That's a player who wanted to get a goal against Aberdeen, and he's unhappy that he didn't get on the score sheet. Let's hope he rattles in 1 or 2 against Benfica. And a look at the league table. It looks good, doesn't it? 11 points clear of our nearest challengers. Yes, they've got 2 games in hand, but they need to win those 2 games in hand. It could have been, and should have been, 12 points clear if it wasn't for those pesky Masons. But there's a long way to go and I am not getting carried away. It means nothing until we win silverware. Kemar Roof, tip of the hat, completely agree, and I love that mentality. But after the last 9 years and having to endure Rangers teams that consisted of Kevin Kyles and Ian Blacks, I think we can be forgiven for enjoying this period and some of the best football that I've seen in my lifetime. So what's next? Well, on Thursday, Rangers welcome Benfica to Ibrox, who are missing a few key players, including the very impressive Darwin Núñez. A win would put us on to 10 points, and if Standard beat Lech Poznan, we would guarantee qualification to the next round of the Europa League with 2 games to spare. And then at the weekend, we go on to our second of 3 consecutive cup matches where we go to Falkirk. Probably a chance to rotate the squad as we go up against the League One side. And then from a personal perspective, this will be the last time you ever see this view as we get our kitchen decorated this week. But more importantly, a week today, my wife and I will welcome little CF3 Junior number 2. So please wish us luck. Anyway, that's it for tonight's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm CF3 Loyal. Stay safe, stay staunch.